Howdy. Oops, I mean, howdy, everybody. All right, that should have some sound. Howdy. All right, this is the inaugural live stream experiment coming at you live from Madison Meadow Studio. Trying to figure stuff out here. Got to figure out where I'm gonna be getting these chats from. Might have to have a open YouTube window. So let's see if we can get that going here. Hope you're all having a good Friday night. I sure am. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube. See what's happening. It says live now. Okay, there I am. Hey, Jennifer's watching. She says, "Hey, Music Compass fans. I'm studio manager at Madison Meadow Music, where we are streaming from tonight.
Hey, Jennifer's watching.
Welcome."
She says, "Hey, Music Compass fans."
And there's me in the
I'm
background.
studio
I should go turn
manager
that
at
down.
Madison Meadow Music, where we are streaming from tonight. Welcome. And there's me in the background. I should go turn that down.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're just going to be experimenting a little bit tonight and working out the kinks. And let's get started.
All right,
Yeah, I am going to be showing you a lot of fun stuff on the piano and the guitar. And yeah, it'll start out really simple and get kind of fun and more interesting as time progresses. We'll especially be getting into my method of playing lead guitar, which is pretty unique and super fun and pretty, I don't know, the fast track, let's call it. Especially if you want to play rock, blues, country, or folk, then yeah, I've got a way of showing you how to play lead guitar that you might not have seen before. You probably haven't seen quite like it before. And yeah, it will. Oh, Jen says there's still some audio delay, echo. Huh. Well, we've got all the sound turned down in here, so let me put on some headphones here. Get some monitoring happening.
Turned down in here, so
Really put on some headphones here. Some monitoring happening. All right, let's plug this in. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. All right, no echo on this end as far as I can tell. But
testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
I mean,
All right, no echo on this end.
I see what you mean.
But
It is looping back, isn't it? Let's try this.
I see what you mean.
Oh, I know what's going on.
It is back. Let's try this.
Oh, I know what's going on. How's that? How's that? How's that? How's that? No, just kidding. That was me. All right. Yeah, I just had to turn down the actual computer, or turn down YouTube on the computer because it was still feeding back into the system and coming out the live stream. So, anyways, so here we go. We're just going to start at the very beginning. If you haven't checked out the videos that are already up with Trent Travis Troy and Dr. Zalotti, they'll catch you up to speed on the very, very first stuff that we got to know. And this is just basic keyboard theory, but this is going to also make the fretboard theory for playing lead guitar really, really a lot easier when we get around to that. So let's get going here. Okay, there's me, and there's the screen. Okay, so the first video you're going to check out is just talking about 2 or 3 black keys. And there you have them. If you really need to brush up on what are 2 black keys and what are 3 black keys, well, the videos are actually kind of fun. So, yeah, even if you already know how to do that, go check them out. It's quite fun. So then the next thing, the next videos in the series will also tell you about how to find the first letter of the alphabet, which is, in music, well, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but the first letter we learn to find is C. And it's as simple as finding 2 black keys and going to the white key on the left. And see that again. 2 black keys, white key on the left. There it is. Okay, and then from there on, you just keep following the alphabet as you go through the white keys. So the white key after C is going to be D. The white key after that is E. And there we have the 3 white keys in what I call 2 black key land. Let's put a little number 2 up there. Yay. Okay, and now we're getting into 3 black key land. The first white key of which would be, as you might have guessed, F, followed by G, followed by not H, which is the next letter of the real alphabet, but is not in the musical alphabet. So at that point, we start all over again with A, and followed by B, and then you'd be back into 2 black key land again with C, and etc., etc., etc. So that's how you name all the white keys. And then the black keys have names too, and that's the, well, actually, that's not the next video in the series. The next video in the series talks about half steps and whole steps, because you kind of have to know what those are to start talking about what you're going to name the black keys. So let's make a new page here and get rid of these. And I'll just race through this. Of course, oh, wait. We don't want to get rid of, I can deal with that later. Okay, so let's take a look at this keyboard here. And I always say that if the chords and the scales are the molecules of our music, it's the half steps and whole steps that are the atoms that make them up. So go watch the videos called Half Steps and Whole Steps. There's a Dr. Zalotti video. There's a Trent Travis Troy video. And then there's also a really good video with our friend Jenna that's a little bit longer and a lot of fun. And if you go through all that stuff, you'll never, ever not know what a half step and whole step is again. But just to sum up here, whenever you have a key that's right next door to each other, let's draw a little X here and make it a nice big bold red X. Okay, so anytime you go to any note, let's make that even bigger. Let's go 36 font. That's perfect. Okay. Then a half step is the very, very next note next door. Now, if you're just looking at the white keys, you'd think, oh, that's the next door note. But it's not really, because the next door note, next door neighbors, is this black key right up here. So they're right next door to each other. And then the half step up from there is there. And then the half step up from there is there. And you can see that half steps, more often than not, go black key, white key, black key, white key, black key, white key. But once in a while, there is a spot on every piano keyboard where it goes white key for a half step. Because there's no black key in between there. Excuse me. And thus, they are right next door neighbors. So that would go on, white, black, white, black, white, white, black, white, black, etc., etc. And you could play all 88 keys on a full-size piano with all the notes in order, and those would be all half steps. So, well, just like in math, 2 halves make a whole. Well, so do 2 half steps make a whole step. So here we go. We got 1, 2 half steps equals a whole step. And, you know, the easiest way to think of a whole step is just if there's only one note in between, white or black, it's a whole step. If there's nothing in between, it's a half step. All right. So, what do you think? Is this... Let's do one here. Tell me if this is a half step or a whole step. I need another computer in here so I can monitor the YouTube chat. Let's see if I can do that. All right, Jennifer. YouTube chat. Wait. All right, Jennifer. Ah. We're echoing again because somehow that YouTube got turned back up. All right, Jennifer, tell me, is this a half step or a whole step? Boom, boom. And Jennifer says... half step, she's right, yay. I won't have to switch back and forth like this normally. I'll just get another computer down here as the monitor. Okay, you're 1 for 1. Okay, let's do another one. What is this going to be? Half step or whole step? Right next door neighbors or one in between? Survey says whole step. Yay! Okay, one more. What if we go from here to here? Ooh, getting tricky, aren't we? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is still waiting. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, look, you can see it here. Or you can see it there. Hey, all right, she's right. Okay, so, yeah, that's half steps and whole steps. And once you understand that, then you can go back and figure out what the names of these are, because let's go over here and actually Let's make a new slide here. And we need to use these little daily bobbers to name the black keys. That thing's called a sharp. And that thing is called a flat. And basically, get a little text box in here. A sharp is anytime you go a half step up from one of the letters. And if the flat is opposite of that, then it stands to reason that that would be a half step down. Okay, makes sense? So let's go back over here and get those out of the way. Oops, not that. Goodbye. Okay, so we'll just take another peek at that. Sharp means half step up. Flat means half step down. So that means that each one of these black keys actually is going to have two different names. It's going to have a sharp name if we get to that black key by going up a half step from one of the white keys. And it's going to have a flat name if we think of that same black key as arrived upon going a half step down from one of the white keys. So, for instance, we've got C goes up a half step. We can call it C sharp. But that same black key can be reached by going down a half step from D. So sometimes you're going to call that same black key D flat. And it just depends on what key you're in, what chord you're in, what scale you're using. But for now, just know two names for every black key. So what would the two names of this one be? Well, D goes up a half step, and we call it D sharp. Or we could go down a half step from E and call it E flat. And so those are the two black keys in two black key land. Let's go over to three black key land now. And we can get to that first one by either going up a half step from F or down a half step from G. If we go up a half step from F, we call it F sharp. If we go down a half step from G, we call it G flat. And by the same token, this one would be up from G, be called G sharp, or down from A flat and be called, where's my A flat? Not over there. A flat. And then finally the last of the three black keys would be A sharp and B flat. And now you know the names of all the white keys and all the black keys. And I have flashcards that I will send you if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Yay! So, yeah, do that. Send me your email. I'll put you on the email list. And I will send you flashcards for whatever we cover in this lesson. So, and that's a good place to start, is just know all your white keys on the piano and all the black keys on the piano. And again, this is really helpful even if you're not terribly interested in being a keyboard player but really want to focus on guitar or bass or really any instrument, but especially on the fretboard, just knowing how to visualize where these white keys and black keys are and what they're called, it makes a huge difference. It's why, I mean, any incoming student at the music school at U of O where I went, whether you're a vocal major, drum major, composition major, piano major, flute major, everybody has to take 2 years of keyboard skills just to know where the notes are and how to make basic chords and scales, because you're going to be doing the same thing on the other instruments. You're not going to be pressing white keys and black keys, but you're going to be playing notes that are arranged conceptually according to the same system. And for instance, when you learn about half steps and whole steps on the piano, makes it a lot easier to improvise on other instruments too. And I'll give you a little taste of that here. All right. So, let's go over, let's go over to this world. Not there. Okay. So, we're going to put all of this together starting with the half steps and whole steps. So, let's get a little graph here of just some blank keyboard stuff. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so there's our keyboard. Now, when you're making scales, you can think of them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're back at 1. And you could sing them with the numbers, or you could also sing them with do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay. Now you noticed, well, first of all, I started on C. Remember, we've got 2 black keys. White key on the left is C. And from there, I played C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And you noticed that there's a little smudge on those keys. That will not do. Okay, but you also noticed that I only played white keys to make that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And that's the only time that'll ever happen, is when you start with your do or your number 1 on C. You can put do anywhere. You can put 1 anywhere. This is always going to be C. 2 black keys, left side, 2 black keys, left side, 2 black keys, left side. Those are always going to be C's. But you can put your do anywhere. You can put your do right here on E and go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But you notice, to make it sound right, I had to play 4 black keys on the way up. If I didn't play them, it wouldn't sound like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It'd sound like this, which is actually a pretty cool scale, but not do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So that's why we learn everything in C, and then we say transpose. We move it to different starting points, different keys from there. So we're going to learn everything in C, and then I'll show you how to do it in other keys too. So I'm actually going to pull this one out over here because I needed that extra set of 2 black keys there. Okay, so again, let's get my pen here. Okay. Here is, all right, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Let's make that G a little better. Yay. Okay, so let's call this do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, which could also be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Okay? Now, the good thing about being able to picture in your mind the fact that this lies down on the key of C with only white keys is that now you can picture in your mind as well whether these are whole steps or half steps from one to the next. So, do to re, doot doot, 2 half steps equals a whole step. Or you could think of it, one guy in between there. Same thing with re to mi. They're not right next door neighbors. They kind of share a fence here, but there's actually a neighbor in between. So that's a whole step too. But mi and fa, right next door. Whole step. And then back to, I meant half step, sorry. H stands for half. Fa to sol is a whole. Sol to la is a whole. La to ti is a whole. And ti to do is our other half step. So we call this a major scale. It's the kind of happy scale. Do 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 da 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 da. Okay, so that's important because eventually we'll learn how to make that into a minor scale, which turns into the blues scale, which is the easiest scale to learn how to jam on. Many would agree, but right now we're not going to worry about scales. I'm going to show you how to make chords today because that's kind of a great place to start if you're just wanting to dabble on the keyboard. Well, learn some major and minor chords and you'll be rocking before you know it. It's really not that hard to play in a band if you got a good sense of how to groove and just know a couple. Just a handful of chords. Well, again, send me your email. Get on the list. I'll send you a chart with all of the chords that you need to know. Well, all the major and minor chords and all 12 keys is a good place to start. And eventually you'll just get to know those by sight and by kind of finger memory and stuff. But what I'm going to teach you here is how to make your own major or minor chord starting anywhere by yourself without any chart. So what we're going to do is we are going to take away this keyboard here and just leave behind some of these numbers of the scale. We're only going to go to sol. All right? Some chords use more than 3 notes, don't get me wrong. And we'd have to go a little bit farther in the scale to figure them out. But the main chords you're going to be using 95% of the time, typically, just have 3 notes in them. And that would be starting with the 1, the 3, and the 5. Okay, if you can play a 1, a 3, and a 5 at the same time, that is a major chord. Ta-da! 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 Because in C we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. There's our 1. Skip the 2, go to 3. Skip the 4, go to 5. Ta-da! And I actually use that ta-da to help the kids start learning how to recognize what a major chord sounds like. It sounds like ta-da. Well, the other chord I'm going to teach you is sort of the opposite of the major chord. And it's called the minor chord. And if major chord is ta-da, the minor chord is boo-hoo, oh woe is me, happy, sad, ta-da, hooray, oh no. Okay, so look at what I'm doing here, up above here. What's the only note I'm changing? I'm keeping the 1 the same. I'm keeping the 5 the same. But look at what I did with that 3. I actually moved it down a half step. And what do we call that when we move anything down a half step? We call that a flat. So let's get these guys out of the way here. So the 1 didn't change. The 5 didn't change. But let's use a nice little dotted thing here. The 3 did change. And we moved it down a half step. And what do we call it now? We call it a flat 3. I know it's not a very good looking flat. It looks kind of like a little squished B there, but that's flat. So 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, ta-da! Major chord. 1, flat 3, 5, minor chord. Okay, and we say that's a C major and a C minor because we started everything on C. We call that our root note, or just the root, because that's kind of like where we planted the seed. Okay, let's plant a seed on C, and then go whole step, half step, whole step to get our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then kind of pluck out the 1, the 3, and the 5 from that to get the major chord, and put a flat on the 3 to make it minor. Okay, and again, we learned that in C because we know that our starting notes, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are going to be on white keys. But we could do this anywhere. So let's grab another little chart up here. And let's say we want to make a D chord, right? Okay, so we have to find a D for our root. Oh, 2 black keys. And you could think 2 black keys, and then go over to the left. Here's C, and then go in order. Next letter of the alphabet will be the next white key, and there is our D. Dun, 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 dun. And that's our root. That's our starting point. So now from there, which would be Do, or number 1, well, what's Do to Re? Whole step. Okay, easy enough. That's our D. There's a whole step. D goes up 2 half steps to make a whole step to E, which is going to be Re, or number 2. Now, this is where it gets tricky. A lot of kids will be like, "Oh, next one's right there." Well, no, don't just look at the white keys and think, "Oh, and the next one's a half step." You got to follow this plan. You got to go whole, then whole step, then half step, then whole step. So we're on Re right now. We need to go to Me. That means we have to go up a whole step from there. So, well, what's a whole step up from Re here? It's on an E. Well, it's not going to be that F because they're right next door neighbors. So we got to go bloop, bloop. 2 half steps equals a whole step, which would have that 1 in between. So there's Me. Do, Re, Mi. And then Mi to Fa is a half step. So that would take us right here to Fa, number 4. And then 4 to 5 is a whole step as well. So, bim, Fa goes up to Sol, whole step. And again, watch those videos on the half steps and whole steps, and you'll be able to get these in a jiff. Okay, so that's where our notes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in the key of D. Let's hear what a D sounds like. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. So, there's different ways of checking your work. One is make sure that you've got whole step from do to re, whole step from re to mi, half step from mi to fa, and whole step from fa to sol. And that's one way of knowing you did it right, but trust your ear too. Does this sound right? Sing along. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. I can't overemphasize how helpful it is to play these notes, but also sing them at the same time with your do, re, mi's. You could do 1, 2, 3s too, but there's just a lot of advantage to being able to recognize the syllables. Okay, but anyways, blah, blah, blah. How do we make a chord out of this? Well, remember, the major chord is your 1, 3, 5. So let's go over here and let's spell these out, actually. We had D. Next letter of the alphabet is E. Next letter of the alphabet is F. So that's why we have to use the F name for that black key. Remember, sometimes this one could be F sharp. Sometimes this one could be G flat. It depends on the scale and the chord you're using. And in this case, you just got to remember when you're doing the steps of a scale, you have to use every letter of the alphabet once and only once in order. So D, E needs to be followed by F or an F something. So in this case, it's F sharp. And then next letter of the alphabet is G. And next letter of the alphabet is A when we're talking about music. So our 1 is on D. Our 3 is on F sharp. And our 5 is on A. And that sounds like 1, 3, 5, ta-da! Now notice when we did C back here, I guess I got rid of that chord. We had all white keys to go 1, 3, 5, ta-da! And then the minor had that black key because the 3 got a flat. Well, it's kind of different here because now we got 1, 3, 5, 3 is on a black key. So when we flat it, let's grab that. Not that. Let's lock that in place. Now when we grab this and move it down, well now it is a flat 3. And for those of you who are interested, we actually would change the syllable here. We keep the M because it's the 3rd note of the scale, but because it got flatted, we changed that Italian I to an Italian E, which sounds not like me, but me. Instead of do, re, mi, we have do, re, mi, do, me, sol, oh, woe is me. Okay, and that's how you make a D minor chord. Okay, let's just undo that, go back to our major chord. Okay, let's do one more. Let's go, and let's actually start on a black key this time. Let's, better grab, let's grab this one. Okay, so we're going to make a B flat major chord. Well, we got to find a B flat, get your flashcards out, and you will be able to know that B flat is right there. Yay! Okay, so, and one more reminder, I'll just draw it down here. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has to be, after you find your root, you gotta go whole step to re, whole step to mi, half step to fa, and whole step to sol. And let's do that up here. There's our root on B flat, our starting point. Gotta go up a whole step. Takes us to C. That's that 1 in the middle, means it's a whole step. Need another whole step to mi. Takes us to D. There's our 1 in the middle. So we got whole step, whole step. Wow, we need a half step. Let's get rid of that. E flat. That is a terrible looking E flat. Let's do that again. All right. And there's our half step, mi to fa. And then fa to sol, whole step. And Well, let's check our work. Let's first label these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be do, re, mi, fa, sol, whole step, no, starting note, whole step, half step, whole step. Let's check our ears. Do, that's actually the key we're in. B flat, do, re, mi, fa, sol. Root note on B flat, whole step, half step, whole step. All right. Get our fingers in place. Skip the 2, skip the 4, and we just have these 3 left. Ta-da! And what do we do to make it a minor key? We move this one down a half step. Oh, B flat minor, B flat major, B flat minor. Okay, so that's pretty much it as far as major and minor chords go. We've got 12 different places we can start them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 major chords, 12 minor chords, 24 altogether. You learn those, then you've got 80-85% of the chords you're going to need in popular music right there. So, and again, send me your email in the chat, and I will send you some charts that will help you. Down here, you can see to the right here that there's more chords we're going to be learning, but right now, just check out the major and minor chords. Okay, let me show you one thing before I go. This is kind of cool. If we take out a fretboard here, let's find some frets. Didn't really plan on doing this, so I didn't have them prepared, but okay, here is a basic blank guitar fretboard. Now, the first thing you can learn about the guitar is that this thickest string here is actually the 6th string, and this one, the thinnest one. And when I really get into guitar, I'll have a camera on the guitar, so you'll be able to see this. But the thickest string is an E, but the lightest string is also an E. And in between, the strings are A, D, G, B, and E. And special deal for all of you who are tuning into this first live stream lesson experiment. Send me your email. I'll send you the charts of the stuff we've talked about already, and I will send you a sneak preview at a song that's going to be on my album coming up next summer that will teach you how to remember E, A, D, G, B, E. Eat at Dave's, get better eggs. It is a rockin' song, and my student slash colleague slash friend Emily Sanger, who is now studying music at Berklee College of Music in Boston, she is a featured singer on that, so you're definitely going to want to hear that. It's some pretty awesome stuff. So yeah, check out Eat at Dave's, get better eggs. But what I wanted to show you here for now is how the half steps and whole steps work on the fretboard. So on a piano, we only have really one dimension. We've got higher if you go to the left, or sorry, to the right. and lower if you go to the left. And on the guitar, that works. Yeah, let's see, I'm kind of off the screen there in the live stream, so let's grab all that and bring it down a little bit. Okay. Excuse me. Why is it doing that? Stay. Oh, because it's extending the screen. Thanks, but no thanks. Okay, so on the guitar, well, is this left or right or up or down? It depends on how you're holding it. Whether it's a stand-up bass or you're holding a sixth string or playing lap style, I don't care, whatever you want to call it. Just think of it as two axes. You go this way, you're going higher. You go this way, you're going lower. One of the differences between the guitar and the piano is that it has kind of two axes. You can go this way to go higher and this way to go lower. But you can also go farther up the fretboard to get higher. And towards the open area by where your hand is. Your fretting hand, that is. And that gets you lower too. So, again, the half steps and whole steps are really what make up these scales and these chords eventually. And just like on the piano, where half steps are right next door neighbors, same thing here. You play a note on the guitar, you go up to the very next fret on that same string, and that's a half step. So let's press down this one on this string, but skip a fret. Well, 2 half steps equals a whole step. And you know, why not? Let's go set up a camera for the guitar. We're just kind of having fun here tonight and seeing what happens. So let me make another screen here. So call this screen guitar demo. Actually, let's just duplicate the one we're on so I can get those nice promotional bars at the bottom. Guitar. Okay, so now let's get rid of that. And get rid of that. And we won't get rid of that, or else you won't hear anything. We'll say goodbye to me here, because I'm going to go somewhere else. And we'll just get rid of everything. And add a new camera. Okay. All right, so let me go reposition that camera here, and I'll get the guitar rocking.
Testing 1, 2. Can you guys hear that? Test, test, test. Two, two, two. Okay, I think you guys might be able to hear that. For some reason I can't hear it, but... Two. Testing 1, 2. Check, check, check. Okay. There we go. Alright, and let me go over here to YouTube and see. Oop. More comments from Jen. And yes. Oh, hey, Misty. Hey, Aldo. Oh my gosh, people are actually watching. That's kind of weird. But, yeah, Jen is wondering if this is recording, so... Yeah, what the heck is going on here? Something's weird with this window here. Oh, I know what's going on. There's just too many places to control the computer, and there's probably... Yep, I left the pen on the Wacom tablet, so it was fighting with my trackpad. Okay, so let's go back here now. That should be fine. Okay. Yeah, Misty says hi. Da 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 da. Alda says hi, and Jen is asking if we're recording this. Yes, the OBS software, as soon as I start live streaming, it automatically records it too. So it'll be recorded on my computer, but these are also automatically saved and archived on my YouTube channel unless I hide them. So, dun, 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 dun. Okay, so let's see. Guess you guys can hear that. Let's turn it up a little bit. Let's turn this on a little bit. See if that helps. Alright, but we were going to play some guitar. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's get plugged in here. Okay. I can type in comments too. Hi, everybody. Let me know if you can hear everything. Because now I got earphones in that are just, well, they're not monitoring the actual live stream, so it could be different what I'm hearing than what you're hearing. But I might as well check that before I start getting going. Okay. Let's see. Test 1, 2. Check, check, check. I'm not hearing anything. Why am I not hearing anything? Huh. 2. Okay. Let's try this. La-di-da-di-da. 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 Okay, let's see if this works. Test 1, 2. Okay, sounds like you guys can hear that. And all right. So here is the guitar. And of course, the way I'm holding it here, this is the lowest string, and then that's the next string up. So going down towards the floor is actually going up. If I play that one, well, this one is higher, that's higher, that's higher, and that's higher. And we're not pressing anything down. When we play all these strings without pressing anything down up here, we say we're playing these open. Doesn't matter where you pluck them. You're just letting the whole string vibrate. E, A, D, G, B, E. And how do we know how to remember that? Eat at Dave's, get better eggs. Okay, so when you're looking at the guitar like this way, going down towards the floor is going, let's see, going higher. And this way, going, we say up the fretboard, again, it's actually going kind of down towards the floor, but this is going up the fretboard. Every time you move up a fret, what you're doing is you're actually making the string shorter. The guitar string, if you just play it without pressing anything down, it's vibrating from here to here as one big string. But when you press like down, let's see, I'm going to go up 5 frets here. Boom. Now, it's not vibrating back here at all. It's starting here all the way up to that same, the bridge down here. It's a shorter string vibrating. And all of the things being equal, shorter strings vibrate faster, and faster means higher. Higher, higher, higher. Now remember we talked about half steps and whole steps. Let's pick a note like right there. As long as we stay on the same string, we move up 1 fret. That's your half step. Now kids these days, they don't know about Jaws, but me and my generation, that's how we recognized a half step was. Ah! That's how you hear a half step. If it sounds like Jaws, it's a half step. And 2 half steps equals a whole step. So 1 fret is a half step. 2 frets are a whole step. Happy birthday. That's how you can hear a whole step. Happy birthday. And half step, what was it? Ah. Okay, and that's half steps and whole steps. Okay, so I think that's enough talk about stuff. Let's just play some music. How about it? Okay, let's see if I can get this thing working. And if you guys can hear it. This is kind of a fun little groove I made on the Roland MC 505 groove box. And box is not going to the live stream, so let's figure out how we can make that happen. Actually had to make a map of the studio the other night, which looks like this. This is the Frankenlooper, everybody. This has been the sum of 30 years of trying to figure this stuff out. So, Groovebox is over here, going into the Yamaha mixer, which is coming straight out to the PA if I had the PA up. So I could turn the PA up and you'd probably hear that through the mics, but I want to get the direct signal into the system. So how are we going to do that? Well, we can send it out through this group 1 to this interface, which could take it down here to this mixer, and then send that out to the Z mixer, and whatever's coming into this mixer, I think you'll be hearing through the live stream. So let's see if we can do that here. Kind of just thinking out loud here, trying to wrap my head around this stuff. Okay, let's go assign that Groovebox channel to group 1. That's what I'm worried about. It's that feedback. Okay, so let's turn that off. Okay, now you guys should start hearing that. etc., etc., etc. So, yay. Fun times in the old studio tonight. Alright, it's been a long week. I should get going to snuggle down in front of the fire, watch a movie, get up and start dialing this place in even better. So, yeah, alright. Had a fun time hanging out with y'all tonight, and it's gonna get even more smooth and streamlined and adventuresome from here on out. So, happy first live stream lesson launch party, everybody. See you later. Ciao.